Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I looked at Australia for the first time in a while, and problems ensued here. It seems that they punched out in this area and then occupied all the rest of Australia. So as you can see, I've done something about that, at least incrementally. And what I've done is I pulled 24 units, these 24, out of our overflow theater. They're still in the overflow theater, but they're going to come on over here, and they're going to push around this direction and try to get this recontained over this way. So it'll take them a little bit of time to get there. In the meantime, of course, we are prepping our invasion of Gibraltar, and this is going to take a while to get prepped. So that's absolutely understood. At this time, we're mostly just chilling out over here in Europe, and our primary focus really should be on wiping out South America. If we can get Brazil taken care of, that is a very big deal. If we can carve a line between Uruguay and Brazil, that'd be a big deal. And it looks like we can. This looks very vulnerable here. So let's do something like this. We're just looking to drive a wedge between these two and separate this all out. So that should be absolutely fantastic. I'm also noting that these guys are completely unopposed over here. Do we want to do anything about that? I mean, yes, but also, I don't know. I feel like we're stretched pretty thin out over here. Maybe we should wait on that. So we're just going to push in over here and carve a path between these two. What? Brazil just capitulated. I did not expect that to happen. Okay. We took a victory point, but I don't think that was their capital. It wasn't. We took Brasilia. Maybe that was their capital at the time, actually. Interesting. Well, that's actually a very huge deal, because that does a couple of things for us. One, that gets rid of a major player out over this direction. Brazil had a lot of forces on these European fronts. Over here, they had quite a number of forces, which should now be gone. I had no idea that we were this close to getting Brazil to capitulate. If I knew, I would have just recorded an extra 2 minutes yesterday. This would have been the finale to last episode, but I did not anticipate that. Wow. Okay. The other major thing that this did is this opened up a gap here. So that's absolutely huge. We need to move in over here, and American Bolivia is now very isolated. We have forces that are on their way over this way, and that is good. These guys are all extremely isolated over here. Get in there, see if we can just wipe them out. That's huge. This can be stack wiped. This can likely be stack wiped. Get in here. And then we've got this down over here. So I'm going to have these guys extend their front line out to here. Man, I'm shocked that they capitulated. I really expected Brazil to be quite a substantial grind after that. But okay. So we've got two American units, or two American army groups, right? And these army groups can be reassigned elsewhere. We're going to be opening up a front in Gibraltar, hopefully, eventually. That's the dream, anyway. Did I get a naval invasion force over here? Yes, I did. Okay. So, can they actually get there? They're docked in Qingdao right now. Why are they docked in Qingdao? I'm going to remove all regions for them and just assign them over here in the Western Mediterranean Sea on naval invasion support, like this. And now they're docked in Qingdao. I'm going to have them patrol up over here. This way they actually move out here. Okay, so we see that there are forces moving around in Iberia. There's not very many of them. But we do have some intel here, and it looks like Gibraltar is completely undefended. If that's the case, I want to do something about it. And what I want to do is this. Just a single division. That will be prepared very, very quickly. And we're auto-saving right now. Yeah, 5 days to get that prepared. I would love to get this front opened up very, very early here. We're going to have forces freed up in South America extraordinarily soon. That said, we don't have anyone on this side, and we probably should. I want to grab some of the units that are over here. At least the 2 divisions that are over on this side, and move them up over here instead. Yeah, I know they're going to have a hard time actually reaching that, but that's what I want to do. Looks like we've pushed them out of here. So we'll just come on in over this way, and that'll be fine. This is stack wiped, so this is absolutely fine. Down over this direction, I'd like to see these guys launch an attack here. And that'll be okay. And then we've still got this down over here, right? And these guys, they do still have access to their capital. Let's launch an attack on Montevideo, and we'll see. Yeah, this is not going to go well. You guys can stop that. What's the supply situation down here? It's fine. Okay, cool. So we need to get these last couple of pockets of resistance in South America wiped out, and that'll be excellent. Now, up over this direction, I'm not sure how this is going at this point, to be honest. We're taking down a lot of their convoys. That's for sure. But carving this path between these 2 areas has not been as effective as I would have hoped. Maybe that just needs more time. But, I mean, we've also got the situation over here in Crimea, right? And we've had quite a lot of time over here. So there is that. When is this going to be ready to launch? 10 days. Noted. But I'm more interested right now in what we've got going on over here. So I want these guys to just launch as soon as they can. If there's no one in Gibraltar, I want to just take it. That's a level 10 naval base and is a great position to launch our attack from. So go ahead and launch this as soon as you're ready. We don't have the naval supremacy over here, and I'm not sure where our ships are right now. Okay, they're making their way over. We lack the naval supremacy for the moment, so that's noted. I want to check in over here. These guys might actually launch first, because we're lacking the naval supremacy over here, because rather than actually moving over to a port over here, we were just docked in King Dao for some reason. I don't know what that reason is, but we absolutely were. So we'll just move this fleet on up, and we'll get the Western Mediterranean taken over. And if we can fully control the Gibraltar Strait, that's going to have dire consequences, in theory, for everything back in the Mediterranean. Now, I mean, there's a Strait of Otranto here, there's the Dardanelles, there is the Bosporus Strait. Like, we control a lot of areas over here that make it very difficult for them to move ships around, right? But that's not terribly surprising. So let's just get these guys up and in there, and that'll be great. Have we launched this invasion? Not quite yet, is the answer. So I want to check in here tomorrow. Okay. So they're on their way. We'll also be arriving out over here very, very shortly. We're just waiting on a couple of ships. And I want these guys to start driving a little closer here. Like, they can head over to, like, Oran, or even they can head over to here. I want them a lot closer than this. So that looks okay. And out over this direction, how are we doing on this actual invasion? Is that undefended right now? I think Kerch might be undefended at this moment. Yes, it was. But there is another unit there now. That was very close. That was very, very close. We kind of just got to get lucky over here, I feel like. We'll keep trying that for now. But out over this direction, okay. So they do have forces here. Now, you'll note that I didn't stop these guys from preparing. They do have a unit here in Gibraltar. It's only 1 unit. That's noted. Do we have any Marines in any of these armies? The answer is no. Okay, that's fine. So what I want to do is I want to take a small contingent here. I'm going to take 6 units. Like this. And we're going to assign them here. Now, they'll go ahead and execute that. That's going to take 31 days to prepare. We've got this other invasion preparing. That seems fine. We may want to launch an attack across the English Channel eventually as well, but for now, I'm reasonably content with this. Okay, so down over this direction, we're not expecting this Kerch invasion to actually get pulled off here. It would have been great if it had. I'm wondering if maybe we go for Yalta. It's certainly an interesting option. So if we grab the 10 units that are over here, I mean, they're, you know, heading off over this direction. That's fine. We do have these unassigned divisions. I'm going to assign them over here. Now, I want to check in and see how this is doing. We have not arrived over here yet. We're still on the way. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Checking in over this direction. All of you guys, get in here. Eliminate that. Everybody over here, same thing.
Come on.
Get in here. Get these guys dislodged. Down this direction, I want to grab this army group, and this is going to be offensive lining simply down to the coast, like that. So we'll get them executing that, and we'll see what we can actually do here. I think we can take this over in relatively short order. With Brazil capitulated, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. The French and the Americans are the biggest ones now. Brazil was actually a very big contributor. If we look at the war here, and we look at the war participation, Brazil was 17%. They were the biggest contributor in this war. So that's absolutely enormous. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of these loss ratios, but we're winning the war. That's what matters, right? So that's absolutely fine. I would love it if Denmark would fall, but for the moment, I'm content with just leaving it under siege like this. There's only so much that they can do. So for the moment, that is fine. I would love to get Gibraltar under control, but what I'm thinking out over this direction is we get rid of the order that is here, this invasion order, and we change this to instead be a naval invasion order from here to Yalta. Now, Yalta is a victory point, but it does not have a dock, a port. So we'd have to either take Sevastopol quickly or build one. And that's going to be exciting, but we'll go ahead and get started on that. So that seems okay. We have 10 divisions assigned to that. That's absolutely fine. This out over here is going to be ready to attack in about 20 days. So that seems okay. How are we doing on coring at this time? Do we have a core ongoing? We do. Okay, so I'm not going to start up another core just yet. We're about done with our propaganda efforts here. We've got 2 days on those. So let's just tick forward a little bit there. But I do want to check, okay, 104 days on our prospecting. Sure. So there's all that going. We're still at 0% war score, or rather war support, and I feel like we will forever be. So that's understood. We'll exhort heroism, encourage frugality, and bolster spirits again. I just want to continue running those basically forever. And continue pressuring Rio Branco, and come on in here. These guys cannot resist this. Okay, so that's all looking good. Now, we do have this army group, which I would really love to get this taken care of. That'll free up this entire army group. We have one army group that's going to be responsible for this attack down over here. And that's fine. It's about to get some reinforcements. So that looks good. American Bolivia is about to fall. We saw a stack wipe there. And we want to see these attacks continue, for sure. Keep pressuring them. Just don't give up. There's a stack wipe. We'll see another stack wipe in a moment. Brazil capitulating was such a huge deal. Like, that's an unspeakably huge deal. That frees us up so much troops. So at this point, the provisional government of Spain, we don't hold anything in Spain. Okay, whatever. So we've got these guys out over here, right? And these are going to be ready to launch in 3 days. Now, we've got our naval force out here on patrol right now, although I think they're currently repairing. I want to turn on automatic split off, and that'll be fine. For the moment, though, I want to swap these guys over to naval invasion support. Yes. Abort the repair and get to naval invasion support out over here. So they're going to go back to the naval base in Tunisia, but we're going to launch this attack over here very, very shortly. So this one is going to be ready to happen now, and we will see what they have for defenses there. I don't see any. This is just free? This is free. Okay. So at this point, we need this entire army group to get up here. We're going to front line right here with all of these divisions, and we're going to have our offensive line be all the way up to the northern Iberia coast to the southern border of France over here. That is our offensive line. And we're going to very, very aggressively pursue this. And I do want to have La Coruña as well. We'll get that eventually. So that seems fine. We'll push up through here. This appears to be very undefended. So Gibraltar has a level 10 naval base. We should be able to supply ourselves at least partially through that. And we definitely want to get some land forts built in Gibraltar. That's a great toehold for us. So we're going to get these guys moved on out there. That's absolutely wonderful. And we need to delete this order. Make sure that all of our units... I just deleted that order. Make sure that all of our units are assigned here. And we need to recreate this offensive line. I guess now we can make sure that it contains La Coruña. That's fine. And then this is just going to go straight over like that. Cool. Go ahead and execute that one. And over we go. So that front is opened at this point. Oh, this is all cleared up over here. So that means that these guys can start thinking about maybe opening up another front out over here somewhere. I mean, that'd be wonderful. For now, let's move all of these guys over to here. And that'll be okay. So we'll just get them in position there. Now, these down over here in the American theater, we need to have this army group down, or rather this army down here assigned to this. And they're just all going to be pushing in over here. We'll get this soon enough. So that looks absolutely fantastic. So that's Africa cleaned up, Asia cleaned up, South America cleaned up, North America cleaned up, and we've still got some work to do over here in Australia, it seems. We're working on getting this pushed, but it's apparently slow going. Supplies? Yeah, supplies are rough over here. We should motorize this, but we should also make sure that this naval base is maxed out. So let's work on that. I'm also going to build some land forts, I guess, out over here, but there we go. That'll do for now. So we'll need to push through this, and getting supplies over there will be a big help for us, but that seems good. Okay, so the real question here is how is this going to go as far as getting all of this, right? Now we've got Cadiz on our hands at this point. That's a level 7 naval base. So we've now got multiple sources of supply in here. This is actually kind of catastrophic for the Allies, for the record. They have nothing to stop us over here. They're sending some forces over, it looks like, but they're going to be way too little, way too late. So this is going to be a very, very big deal. The Communist States of America are going to lose a lot of their territory here. Now, they're definitely trying to do this. I want to make sure that this army group is aggressively attacking right now. Get in there, take whatever you can at this moment. So we just want to take everything possible right now. We'll see how much we're able to actually get before they pull troops from this front line. But if they pull too many troops over here to respond to this threat, then we start pushing over here. That's the idea here. That's the trap. So we'll see how they decide to respond to it before we figure out how we want to respond. If they don't pull enough troops over here, we take a bunch of territory over here, and we possibly don't even bother with the invasion from England. If this bogs down and we can't progress here or here, we open another front here. Otherwise, we push up this way and we bring in the other army groups to do some things on these various fronts. That's the overall concept right now. So we've just about got South America cleaned up. That's looking good. I would actually like to come in here at this time. So we'll work on that and see about getting these guys cut off. Now they're retreating here. Okay, that's fine. So that looks absolutely a-okay for now, and we definitely do see that they pulled some forces here. Yeah, they are pulling forces from this front line. So I'm going to restart our attacks out over here, although I'm going to keep it on balanced. I'm going to restart this attack, and we've got this army group out over here. We can restart this attack on balanced. And there's this one down over here. We can restart this attack on balanced as well. Are there any others over here? Okay, that looks good for now. So we're resuming our attack over here, and look at all of those victories that we're getting. This is because they pulled forces from over here. We're pulling a lot of attention down to this offensive, but now we have offensives on both sides. This is a really bad situation for the Allies. The only question at this point is, will our manpower hold out? It's quite a question. I think I'm just going to have these guys come over here for now on this side, and they're just going to frontline over here in a defensive capacity for this moment across this entire front line. So they'll make their way over here, and they'll help us hold this position if we get overextended. But I don't expect that to really happen at this moment. So checking in out over here, we can see, oh yeah, we are definitely having an effect on this front. No doubt about it. That's a good push. I like it. So that's fantastic. We've, of course, still got this little area out over here, and we've still got Crimea being a thing. So when are these guys able to launch this? 10 days. 10 days. Okay. They've pushed back out over here. I'm not concerned about this. This is fine. They can do this if they want. I don't actually mind. I am thinking about pulling an infantry unit like this one out over here to help hold on this front line instead of being down here. And let's do that. Let's pull out one infantry unit, and that'll make its way around, and it'll make it much harder for them to attack over here. Tanks aren't great at defense, right? So that's absolutely fine. So checking in over here, we are doing extremely well. Yeah. And this attack was planned, to be clear, whether Brazil capitulated or not, but that Brazil capitulation really moved up our timetables. So that's fantastic. We're really happy about that. The question now is, how far do we get before we stall out? But we might not stall out, is the thing we have to consider here. American Portugal has capitulated. That is a big deal. And kind of broke our front lines a little bit. Okay, so we need to have this army group's front line get expanded out to here, and then this army group's front line will be expanded to here, like that. There we go. So that looks good, and then we're working on wiping this out. Get in there. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And then there's a pocket over here as well with just one unit in it. That's not even going to last very long. I don't need to issue an order here. This is already under control. So that looks fine. And we can see more troops are still coming down to deal with this situation. That situation is still emerging and is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to continue to push over here in the east as well. And there's only so much that they can do. We have just about gotten the American theater wrapped up here, and we may want to move these guys from the African theater over into the European theater, because they're, honestly, they're fighting in Europe now. Similarly, these guys are also fighting in Europe now. So we'll do that, although we may want to have these be actually in their own theater. So that would be, let's see here, this army group. I'm going to make the Iberian theater here, because the European theater is kind of messy. Iberian theater. That is not how you spell theater. There we go. So that's the Iberian theater, and I want to have this army group also be assigned to the Iberian theater. There we go. That'll just keep things a little cleaner for us. The American theater, not quite ready to be done, but it's very close. So that's looking good. No doubt about that. It is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to push through here. I am hoping to get American Spain to capitulate quite soon. And the communist states of America, they don't have much outside of Iberia. I think they have some, like, islands around somewhere or something, but that's not a big deal. At that point, it basically comes down to France. There's not that much left. So that's fantastic. But will we run out of manpower first? It's a distinct possibility. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.